The following live stream has been approved for restricted audiences only. It will definitely contain strong language and maybe some adult themes. Almost certainly. Viewer inebriation is advised.
Good evening, happy Friday, and welcome to Last Call, where we can't guarantee that everybody knows your name, but we will treat you like family, as long as you do likewise. And tonight, we're playing with toys. Sort of. Our special guest behind the bar is Andy Masterson of the Laboratory of Mayhem, or Laboratory for those of you on the other side of the pond. And we'll be talking about our respective passions of creating custom action figures. And who knows, maybe we'll talk about the toy industry in general, streaming, life, whatever comes up. Oh, and there will be drinks, I promise. So top off your glasses, settle in, tell me what you're sipping on in the chat, and we'll get this Canarble Wagon rolling.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
Okay, well, I guess I should add myself to the stream. Salute and welcome, everyone. That's a minor technical distraction behind the scenes there. I do think it's kind of funny, and I did leave it the adult themes, even though we're going to be talking about toys, because I may drop an F-bomb or two as enough of this goes in. So tonight, the drink for me, I'm still working on this Elvis's Midnight Snack that I opened on my birthday, January 8th, same as Elvis. It is whiskey flavored with peanut butter, banana, and bacon, and you can really smell that banana. The banana kind of overpowers everything. Hold on. Okay, it all comes through. Banana's the strongest. There does seem to be that peanut butter right over the top, and there's a little bit of bacon at the back of your mouth, right at the end. It is yummy, very sweet. Even Netter enjoyed it. Speaking of Netter, she was the first comment, even though you can't see it. It fell off because she commented last night. I love you too, Netter. How you doing, my dear? And what are you sipping on?
I am sipping on a new concoction that I created, which you dubbed Netter's Nectar.
Netter's Nectar. What's in it?
It is Malibu rum and cranberry grape juice. Mm-hmm. So it's cranberry and then cranberry or cran grape. It's actually pretty good. But I'm also two-fisting it. So when I finish that, I've got only half the glass left. So once I finish that, I'm going to switch over to my Meyer Berry Sparkling Water. Very good. Just keep in mind, Netter is the bouncer around here. And if she's been drinking, she's going to be on a hair trigger, so watch out. But let's say hi to the staff as I see them here. Of course, we got Lady Mist dropping her flowers and her encouragement. Thank you so much for being here, my dear. She is the hostess with the mostest. Of course, Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. That last call guy. I'm a call guy. Oh, I didn't know that. There we go. David Pensack, welcome. Well, it's about time Friday night got here. I absolutely agree with you, my friend. Let's see. I got to scroll pay. There he is. Deleted scenes. Welcome. Good to see you. Salute. Big Al of Big Al Presents tomorrow night. We will be watching Night of the Lepus in honor of the Easter season. See the connection? Rabbits, Lepus. Yeah. I like it. I think it's a great idea. It's going to be awesome. Christian Delorme, Vinyl Revival. Bonsoir, mon ami. Welcome. So glad to see you. That's probably about the extent of my French. I learned it all from Star Trek. Darling, I thought you learned that from me.
Well, yeah.
Je t'aime, mon amour.
Ditto. Ditto that. Exactly. Bacon. See? You know. Curtis Shelby, good evening. Welcome, my friend. Salud. FKHC 2005. Hail. Welcome. And I think Night of the Lepus does have DeForest Kelly. Yes, it does. Absolutely. So let's get everyone in here. Let's start with my designated driver because I expect to need one tonight. Age Boomer, how are you doing, my friend? And what are you sipping on tonight?
I'm doing fine. I have a... Oh, I'm hearing your echo. Sorry. I'm doing fine. I'm having an unsweetened iced tea.
Unsweetened iced tea. Okay, well, don't get too crazy on us then. Tim Hayes, welcome. Well, I tried to bring you up. Tim Hayes, welcome. Oh, and Luddites are us. I'm here just in time for another Leafmas reference. Well, you can join us tomorrow night over on Big Al's channel for an actual watch party at Night of the Leafmas. If you are so inclined. Leia plus size. Welcome. Good evening. Good to see you, my dear. Let us not keep our guests plural waiting. First, let me bring in the announced guest, Andy Masterson of the Laboratory of Mayhem. How are you doing, my friend, and what are you sipping on tonight?
Very well. I'm just having a cup of nice hot tea because I have heartburn.
Yeah.
Those fajitas. I think it was that Spanish rice that she made me eat too.
Yeah, it can be a little spicy. I mean, it's good. That stuff is good, but man, it can be spicy. I get it. And thanks to Andy Masterson. The topic tonight is, of course, as you read in the description, we're going to be talking about custom figures, molding, that kind of stuff. And he said, well, do you want me to invite Gary Ambrosia? And I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Can you get him on short notice? And apparently he could. Welcome, Gary Ambrosia. How you doing, my friend? And what are you sipping on?
Hail, Troy. I'm slowing down a little bit. I just fired down about 4 Irish car bombs. I did a Long Island
that
iced
is
tea.
Awesome to begin with.
I did some top shelf tequila and a shot of Jaeger, so I'm doing okay.
You're good for the night. Holy crap.
I'm good for at least a couple hours. But,
I'm gonna have to have you on more often, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh, that is
right.
Good. See, this is the kind of guy who knows what the pub's all about. That's awesome. All right, so let me start out by saying that you guys, I would have probably covered this in the back, but it doesn't matter. I'm planning on going late tonight, so you guys feel free. If you need to bounce, you need to bounce. I know Andy has a commitment in the morning, so he can't stay on too late. I'm going to go 2 hours. Well, it's going to be less than 2 hours now. We're already into the show, right? I'm going to cut this off after 2 hours on YouTube. And then I'm going to continue for a little bit over on Rumble. Because what I want to do is I want to, if at all possible, get you all to come on over for the end of the show, subscribe to me or follow me or whatever they call it over on Rumble. Because that's where I'll always be if anything ever happens to this channel here. You never know. Got to diversify, right? Did you guys know I have actually made, over on Rumble, 40 cents?
Huh?
Which is 40 cents more than I've made on YouTube.
That's a lot better than a lot of these Disney investors, too. So,
well, yeah, good point. You make an excellent point. I've got about 41, I think it's up to 43 subscribers over there. So considering I got almost a penny per subscriber, and I've got over 1,000 subscribers here, and I've made bupkis because that's how YouTube operates. Just saying, folks. Just saying. So that's why I'm diversifying, and I'm going to ask you to find me on Rumble. I will drop the link, or Netter, if you could.
No, I want to know, can I hijack your stream for like 30 seconds?
Sure.
So that I can begin my StreamYard that I set up wrong, and then end my StreamYard that I did wrong, so people go to your stream.
You can hijack my stream anytime you want.
No, but that means you got to be quiet.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Give me a second. I'm just going to go live and tell people to go by you. Good evening, everyone. If you're here, go over to Troy's channel. I set up the stream wrong. So if you want all the great action, go over to Troy's stream.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
So have a good night, everyone.
What?
Now,
okay.
I told you to shut up.
I'm sorry. I forgot that you were trying to close out a stream over on your side. My apologies.
That's what I said. I need to
hijack
what
happens
your stream
when you got cross streams.
That's
this is why you don't cross the streams, my friends.
It's like, I don't know how I set that up wrong, because I've set them up before for years, but this one decided to be its own separate entity.
Does Troy have permissions to talk yet?
Yes, now he does.
Thank you. Okay, yes. And yes, if you are referring to, no, you can't possibly be. I don't think you can see it from where you're at. I do have a number of Svengoolie figures right over my left, well, from your point of view, right shoulder. But yeah. Anyway, so the topic for tonight, of course, I had been eager to get Andy back on the channel to talk custom action figures. And just for, I'm sure that most of my followers already know you, Andy, but for those that don't, 40,000 foot overview, why might I have invited you on a channel, on a stream, to talk about custom action figures?
Because toys are cool. Toys are what all the fun.
That in and of itself is true. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, anybody that grew up, like, I don't understand today's generations where they don't buy toys. Because when we were growing up, it was the toy catalog coming at Christmas time was like hours and hours just imagining and circling and folding pages over and wanting this one and begging and pleading. So then when I had kids, it was like, then I had another reason to collect toys. And in fact, I had packed up all my stuff and given it away like an idiot. And then one day, back in the mid-90s, a friend of mine said to me, are you busy? And I'm like, no, why? Like, up in Valley Forge, they're having a Star Trek convention. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you like Star Trek? And he's like, yeah, man, I want to get this action figure signed because they had Persis Kambala there doing the show. Mm. So now back in the mid-90s there, I had like hair down the middle of my back. I had my horse, so I wore cowboy boots everywhere. And my buddy Cat, he played bass in a heavy metal band, black guy, real long hair, black leather outfits, all in Indian feathers hanging off everything. So we hop on a couple motorcycles and we head up to Valley Forge, and we walk in this place all decked out in leather biker jackets and carrying helmets around, and everybody looking like Klingons is watching us like we're weird. So I get talking to him there, and like, here he's got this enormous action figure collection. It's like, so wait, let me get this right. Adults can collect toys? He's like, right. Yeah. I'm like, I never realized that. So I started getting all the Toy Biz X-Men figures and stuff. Then when my son was born, we went through KB Toys, and he was about a month or two old, and I found this Episode 1 Obi-Wan Kenobi figure on clearance, and I said to my wife, I'm getting this for him. She's like, oh, you don't even know if he's gonna like Star Wars. I said, oh, he'll like Star Wars. So, and that's still his favorite character. So it went from there, and I got into on the web forums, learning how to make your own action figures. So I made my son his own action figure so he could get in the action and be Obi-Wan's apprentice and do all this other stuff.
Let me interrupt you there real quick because I need a clarifying question answered. So these, for your son, what scale figures are we talking here?
These are 1/6 scale. Everything.
So like G.I. Joe scale, Barbie scale.
Yeah. Yes. So we got into that because they were just so cool looking. I would always wander through toy departments and check out the Lego sections for a long time and just browse. But then when I started picking things up, and then when I saw the the way that some of these things were looking was like, wow, this would be really neat. So I started collecting figures when they would be released, and I would watch the web forums to see when they would be hitting the shelves.
Yeah.
And I'd get out there and grab them because collectors will go and they'll snatch them all up, and then there's nothing left for you. So over time, it just became this thing where I kept learning how to sculpt and getting better at it. And I was doing this rudimentary casting and molding process till I met this guy here who said, yeah, you're doing this all wrong. Like, you should try doing it with this, try doing it with this. And man, what
I
a
didn't
difference.
say that. You weren't doing it all
That's
wrong.
how he
You were
heard it.
just
That's
doing
how
it mostly wrong.
Yes.
Real quick, I want to shout out Luddites R Us is saying 1/6 scale G.I. Joe. Barbie is a doll. That doesn't count. I don't know. I think Barbie is an action figure, and if you ask G.I. Joe, I think he would say Barbie is an action figure. Just saying. Just saying. Where do you think G.I. Joe goes when he's on leave?
Where does that leave Ken?
I used that joke recently when someone was talking about transitioning boys when they start playing with dolls. I said, I was over at a buddy's house and we were playing with his sister's Barbies, and his mother said, boys don't play with Barbies. I said, G.I. Joe does. So Gary, you are or what Andy was telling me, you are the molding and the molding expert, and I'm assuming we're talking like silicone molds, stuff like that.
Sure, I guess you could say that.
And back in the green room, he told me a little vicious secret that you worked in the entertainment industry. You learned from all the makeup guys about how to do the molds for making appliances and so forth. Is that the case?
Oh yeah, I mean I was blessed to be educated by all the old school Hollywood alcoholics. They taught me everything.
There you go. There you go.
Everything, and some of them aren't with us anymore. But man,
true.
I carry that knowledge, and I tell you, it's you can't really find it anywhere on the internet. I've looked. I've taken a lot of classes, a lot of schools, and
it's still big in the cosplay community. I can tell you because I was telling Andy in the backdrop that Netter and I, as Andy was talking about going to Star Trek conventions, Netter and I met 32 years ago. 32 years ago.
We'll be married 32 years come August. We met
now
almost
32 years.
It'll be almost 33 years.
Okay. Yeah, that does sound
we're
right.
old farts.
Anyway, we met at a Star Trek convention, and shortly after we met, we were doing the whole Federation thing, and we were like, well, this is boring, so we went and jumped ship to the Klingons, and we started learning how to do all the facial appliances and so forth. And we started out as Kmart Klingons, the latex and cotton and all that.
Right.
And we eventually graduated to, doing full-on casts of our heads and building up the prosthetic with clay, and then doing a mold of that, and then pouring the not liquid latex, the what do you call it? The cold foam,
Yeah.
And and so I don't do that custom stuff anymore. I just buy it, off the rack from folks that I know on Etsy. But I still do the Bondo, so you can't see the seam and the and the makeup and then the wig. Yeah, when I'm a Klingon, I got hair. As a real person, I got none. But that does make it a lot easier to glue on those foreheads. Let me tell you.
Right.
But really quick, let me say hi to Pop Culture Mechanic. Welcome, my friend. I was just checking out some of your videos just today, in fact. And Luddites R Us. He knows our history with the Klingons. He's a local friend here. So Andy, you want to real quick? I'm going to bring you up. Can you show the folks like an example of your work, something you got nearby? I know you got a bunch of stuff nearby.
let's see. Let me start with somebody that they would have some reference to. So here's all of our inmates at Xanadu. So here's Gary.
There's Gary. Yeah.
Cool.
Looks just like you, Gary.
You know what's amazing is when he sent me this figure, I unwrapped it, and I swear, it looked to me more like my father than it looked like me. That's how good he nailed it. Because I look exactly like my dad, but I don't.
You do.
You know, I can't tell what I look like. But I looked at the figure, I'm like, my God, that looks so much like my dad's 18-year-old. You know, when he was 18, his recruitment picture for the Marine Corps. You know,
absolutely. Is that Steven?
There's Mexican Iron Man.
Oh, Mexican Iron Man. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you had Rancor Steve there just a second ago.
Yeah. He's playing.
He was just on my channel a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Slightly smaller scale.
Yeah.
Well, this is actual size.
Yeah, that's like
he looks taller on YouTube. And I think a lot of the listeners here would know. Yep, there you go.
This is what started it all.
Oh,
the Doomcock. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what started it all. When COVID hit,
I want to ask you a question specifically about that figure.
Yes.
So that helmet of his, is that a head that you sculpted, or was that a print of something, or what was?
No, I sculpted that. Yeah.
Man, doing it from scratch. Let me tell you, my friend, that is just amazing work.
This is version 2.
And is that you can't really see the details. Is that embroidery work on there? Is that like sewn on or painted on, or what is that?
No, the detail on it, the rivets are real metal rivets. They're 3mm rivets on there. They're all set by hand, one by one. And the detail is actually designed with the Cricut machine. So it's cut vinyl and ironed on.
Wow! Holy cow, man! You're big time. That's amazing.
Yeah. That detail is very impressive.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And you know what's interesting? I didn't even think about it until now. Andy had to design it flat and make it so that it looks proper when it's, put on 3-dimensionally onto the tunic. So that's a lot of work.
I can say that for Netter and I doing all the costuming that we've done, I'm sorry, I was just distracted by the private chat. Good on you, Gary. Thank you so much. But yeah, Netter and I have done, and most of our followers know we've done a lot of costuming and stuff, especially. Well, we joke because the reality is we've done a lot of steampunk and Victorian historical reenacting and so forth. And men have it easy. Men can buy off the rack. All I got to do is go to a formal wear shop, get a tuxedo, and I'm pretty much good to go. Make a waistcoat, and that's it. Women, we have to make those dresses with the bustles.
Wait. We? You mean me?
I helped. I absolutely helped, especially with all the handwork, because I'm good with my hands. Ask my wife; she'll tell you.
I'm gonna hold that for you, honey. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
No, you joke, but there have been times during fittings where we'll have a dress on a mannequin, and I'll go, nope, that's not right. Yeah,
is the mannequin named Troy?
Sometimes. But no, and you do when you sometimes you are blessed enough to have a pattern to work from. But if there's something specific you want to do, you're looking at a picture or something like that, you have to mock that up yourself, and you have to imagine it in 3 dimensions and then flatten it to 2 dimensions to cut it out of material. It's an art, and it's got to be, I imagine it's got to be so much more difficult at 1/6 scale because it is tiny, tiny, tiny work,
Now, here's the other thing. Troy is amazing at very tiny stitches. I can't do that. And they're all even. I tried doing that. Mine were shit. I mean, You should hear me swear on the channel, but yeah,
that's because I'm so used to this toy stuff like Andy's talking about. But
you ever built a model pirate ship or a model ship, Troy?
I've done like Star Trek ships. As
like a boat, with all the riggings and the oh my gosh.
Well,
that's a nightmare.
Closest like
you'd probably be good at that.
Closest I've gotten was I did I had a Dungeons and Dragons scenario that involved pirate ships, and I was able to get some cheap Lego, believe it or not, cheap Lego ships from Pirates of the Caribbean and knockoffs and stuff like that. And I made a bunch of custom rigging for them to match up with what was in the scenario for the D&D campaign. So yes, I know exactly what you mean. And I did all the bringing the threads down and stuff to make it look like rigging. And because they'd want to put their figures into the rigging, and then we'd measure out the distance for combat and stuff. Yeah, this is how big a nerd I am. I know I talk about my nerdness on this channel, but not in this kind of detail. I'm really outing myself here. So
nerd.
I'm a nerd. I really am. Role-playing games. But, going back to something you said, Andy, you were talking about action figures, playing with action figures, kids not playing with action figures these days. For me, the progression was natural. When I played with Star Wars action figures, I would either reenact the movies or make new stories. And that was it was kind of a role-playing type of thing with those action figures. When I'd go over to a buddy's house and he had a bunch of G.I. Joes, sure, we'd be playing soldier, but it was still a kind of role-playing. So when I got into high school and I had friends introducing me to Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, I was like, oh, okay, I get this. It's kind of like when I was playing with my action figures. It's just without the action figures. It's just, talking it out. So, it's not too dissimilar. It's still a kind of a theater of the mind. You may not even know this, but the same company, at the time it was Wizards of the Coast, they owned the Star Wars license for role-playing for a while. And part of their game was you could use miniatures. They sold lead miniatures, but they also had rules so that you could use Star Wars action figures. So you could do your role-playing game and your combats using your action figures. Just, so there you go. But, and Gary, I'm sorry. I don't know all of your background. So when we're talking toys here, you're kind of found, because I can see some figures on the back there. Let me bring you up so that
yeah, sure,
so I can see what we're looking at.
The figures here I keep on the back are they're from Andy. Actually,
those are Andy's. Yeah, you've got one of the Doom
I'll grab a couple of them here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And now he can't hear me, so I could talk about him and he wouldn't even know. See how that works?
You bastard.
Oh,
this one I'm real proud of.
Whoa!
Andy made this one of me. In this cool spacesuit.
Nice.
Yeah.
A little R-rated there, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the
extension on the bottom, right?
Yeah, he's got a little issue. Well, not that little. But
no, it's not little at all. It is quite big, bigger than average.
Yeah. Well, it's average for Andy. It's very huge for me. But yeah, this is we do some gags on the Doomcock show, and this is a character called the DSA, the Dollar Store Astronaut. And he made an action figure of the character that
do you know the details of that figure, like that pack that's on his chest? Do you know where that comes from or anything like that?
Well, it's from I built this suit. I actually have this, and this is a character that I play in some of the gag roles that we do on the Doomcock show. And Andy I sent him photos of all the gear that we built, and he made the 1/6 scale figure for me.
That is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So eventually in the show, I'm going to get to showing off some of my work, and I do not have the level of talent that you guys do. I don't do a lot of stuff from scratch. I do a lot of kit bashing, getting stuff from other sources and putting them together. Oh, real quick, I do have to stop to say hi to Sin's Corner. Sin, are you still on holiday or are you back? Because we miss you, girl. We really, really do.
I think she's recovering from her holiday.
Right, you need a vacation to recuperate from your vacation, right?
I think she said it was
and
a work
for her
holiday
it was a
anyway.
working, yeah, it was a working like type vacation, so that's even worse. Sorry, I didn't say hi to Jesse Guajardo earlier, so sorry. Hello, and Nate, welcome. Good to see
Nate,
you, my friend.
Nate had a great comment I posted in the private chat because I didn't.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with everything.
You should read it though.
So Nate said there is definitely a certain Lucasfilm president who wants that Overlord DVD doll just to stick pins in it. I'm sure.
I am like the Indiana Jones voodoo doll from Temple of Doom.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely true. And you know what? Good. I just say good. Because that means he's winning, right? You know, I mean, I'm not a big one on dictatorial leadership, but I kind of feel like if there was going to be a single leader of the world, I'd be good with it being Doomcock.
Okay, here is a really great thing in the chat.
Okay.
Don't let Les Call with Troy Pacelli fool you. His 1/18th holiday special figs are cool. His Kolchak is great. It doesn't have to be custom cast, just custom loved.
Okay.
Our buddy.
I was going to focus more on our guests right now, but I'll bring up at least one of my custom action figures. So this was one that I did. I think I started this about 2.5 years ago. Try not to get too much of a glare on it. This is a holiday special.
Life Day Chewy.
Life Day Chewy. Okay. And you will notice.
Wait, show the sticker on the front. What is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me.
Sorry, I didn't want to jump ahead. That was
no. You're absolutely right. Let me go solo. So yeah, we got Life Day Chewbacca. Free Akmina. Oh, let's try to get that in focus. Free Akmina with proof of purchase, right? My Chewbacca. My Chewbacca is nothing special. It's just an old vintage Chewbacca with the red robes from the Emperor's Royal Guard. What do you call them?
It's a great
the vintage
figure.
collection. And there's a little bead in there. It's a little, pearlescent bead that's obviously got holes on either side.
Yeah.
And you know how those figures are. They got their hands like this, and you could just slip it right over his thumb, you know? And this was the figure that I did. And then, just this past year, Kenner finally Hasbro finally
they ripped you off, man.
Well, kind of.
They ripped you off.
But there's no Akmina offer, and it's the old Star Wars. It's not the holiday. It doesn't even say holiday special. See, that's why I make my own custom card back. And then on the back, I have some of the other figures that I've either done or am working on that I'll show you later on.
Including
that
Lumpy
Akmina.
figure.
Well, I'll show you the Lumpy figure, but including that Akmina. That is a figure that actually exists.
I want the Harvey Korman figures too, man.
I am working on those, but I don't have those to show yet because I hahaven't started.
What about that commercial you had?
Oh crap, Netter. Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is she's such a cheerleader for me. I got to see if I have that still in here.
Ready to go.
That's great. I always wanted holiday special figures to go with my original collection.
I don't have it in my clips, Netter, so if you could pull it up on YouTube and share it, I will bring it up. Let me get everyone back in. But and so that's an example of a figure that I didn't really. The only thing that's really custom is the backing, right? And the windows. In fact, this is the interesting thing. The windows that I do, I have them so that they can be open. And then I can take the figure out, display them if I want, put them back in.
How do you do that with the opening window, Troy?
There, you buy these clamshells online. They usually come with a, like the cutout, the hole for the right over it. I cut that off, I glue it on, and you can. I don't know if you can kind of see.
Okay,
you
there you go, Andy. That's how you do it, right there, man.
There we go.
If you want, I can later on when I sober up, you're going to have to remind me. I'll send you some links to some online stores that sell them.
Big Chad put the link for it in the private chat.
Oh, okay. So I can bring that up. Bear with me because I'm a drunk and I'm trying to do things drunk. So private chat.
Yeah, I think this is
bring
yours.
it up. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to mute myself. Hold on a second. Yeah, let me bring this in there. This is on me. I'm going to have to mute myself, but I'll bring it up. Give me a second here.
From Kenner, Star Wars Holiday Special Collection comes Mala, Itchy, Lumpy, and all 20 action figures, including the new Bloodlow, Zutmore, and more, each sold separately. And now, Akmina, Star Wars bartender, with her drink dispensing pitcher. Akmina is not yet available, but you can get her free with 4 proofs of purchase from any Star Wars Holiday Special action figures. Details on specially marked packs at participating stores. Offer expires May 31st. Star Wars Holiday Special Action sold separate.
Collect the whole family. That's fantastic.
And he made it in that retro style.
And I did. I put the filter on it so it looked like an old VHS, 70s style.
Did you paint up the Luke figure with a ton of makeup?
What I did was
rosy red cheeks and eyeliner, and
I thought about that. I really did.
Carrie Fisher with a bunch of powder under her nose,
Oh, Gary, you don't even realize. And most of my, well, I'll tell you, most of my followers who have stopped following me now around the holidays, every November I do a watch party of the holiday special. Different versions of the holiday special. I do the original release version. I do different fan edits of it. It's a blast.
In fact, sounds like a blast, man. I love that.
Last year I had Michael from Retro Blasting on to watch it. Sent him a copy of the DVDs, and then the following week we followed it up with the episode of the Donnie and Marie show that featured their take on Star Wars, which was amazing. As I pointed out, they play Luke and Leia, and they didn't even know at the time that Luke and Leia would turn out to be brother and sister. It was just perfect, It just, there you go. So this is where my mind comes with these custom action figures. There were toys that I wanted growing up that I could not have.
Yeah.
I saw those. Well, of course, we all got, those of us that were into Star Wars, we all got the mail away Boba Fett figure, right? That mail away Boba Fett, and honestly, I believe this to this day. Everybody talks about Book of Boba Fett. Why does everyone think Boba Fett was so great? He was only on screen for a couple of minutes and whatnot. That's not it. It's about the action figure. It's about the holiday special. It's about all the mystique around him and all those childhood memories we've put into Boba Fett, even before we saw him in Empire Strikes Back. And you can't recapture that. And it's true. It's something that Tom Connors has said many times. The more you show him and the more you tell his backstory and stuff, the more the mystique is gone from him.
It's true. He's basically the man with no name in Star Wars.
Right. And now he's got a name, a backstory, a father, tragic history. I mean, it's,
the mystique is gone, man. But then again, no one's really watching that show anyway, so.
No, and it's terrible because I did see a good deal of it, and there was a lot that I hated, but there was enough kernels there that I was like, if these writers were allowed to do what they want to do, they could actually tell a good story. Yeah. I really thought what they were going for was like a Michael Corleone story, right? Where he was gonna, take over the underworld and all this kind of stuff. We were going to get into all that underworld stuff. Nope, that's not what they wanted to do. They just wanted to trash everything, and they're cultural vandals. Yeah, don't get me political, but that's the way I'm going to go. But this is what I was talking about. There's all these action figures that we'll never get that I just wanted to make for myself. So one of the jokes was, or one of the things you saw in that I've got to bring myself back up again. How do I do that? Solo layout was the Bloodlow figure. So obviously that's the Bloodlow from the holiday special, and all it is it's a custom, or it's a vintage Greedo with a vest, from one of the vintage collection characters. And I was gonna consider this to be the updated version, until then I saw, I don't know if you guys know who Stan Solo is. Stan Solo does excellent. Just the feel of them, the hardness of the plastic, the tightness of the joints, exactly like an old Kenner figure. This is a screen accurate Greedo.
I don't know how that guy does those figures for that price. They are so affordable, and they are really, really good quality.
It's funny
incredible
that you say that. Okay, so you do know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
So he, he does them very professionally. He does them out of, I think the molds and everything are in China, and he's got a place that does the injection molding and stuff.
He does it,
But there's a danger there, because some of the people over there are kind of unscrupulous, and one of the sets of molds that he sent out there got stolen.
Yeah,
and they cost thousands of dollars to make, and he had to replace them. But he's got this incredible conviction about, if you gave me money, I'm going to get it to you. Even if I have to take a loss because of something that happened on my end, that's not your fault. You paid for it, you're going to get the thing, what he does is he did do a couple of like repro type figures, stuff that was so rare that you were never going to be able to get it. He put out like what's his name, a Yak Face, and like one the blue Snaggletooth, and everyone gets on him like, you're making repros. Well, you'd have to be a moron. All you got to do is look at the back leg where it says SS for Stan Solo, and the date. There's no way you can mistake that for a 1979 Kenner figure, But he mostly makes figures like this that didn't exist, or variants of figures. He made an Ula figure. He made a Slave Leia figure. He made what do you call the Rebel Blockade Runner soldiers that we never had. All these things that we all wanted in our original collection. So
that was the first figure I made in my collection when I was about 12 years old. I made a Rebel Blockade Trooper. I cut the head off of the Jedi Han Solo, and I put the head of the was it the Death Squad Trooper on top, and I just painted the helmet white and put a little piece of plastic on the back, and that was I painted his shirt blue, and that was it. That was my Rebel Trooper right there.
That's a lot of the kind of stuff that I'm doing now too. Some of it is so like the vintage collection finally put out a holiday special version of Boba Fett. So of course I had to do the custom back for it for the holiday special, including this is something that doesn't come with it. I even have it taped into the inside of the blister pack like we did when we were kids. The blaster that he has in the holiday special. That comes from a customizer, Pro Custom Figures Online. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from. But I do have a vintage version of it. Let me go solo again. On Upon a Dragon. So just like the old Dewback, this figure sits in a hole in the body. There we go. And the legs are fake as part of the unit. And then you just slide him in. By the way, this is a rocket firing backpack as well.
Don't put an eye out.
Yeah, I know. Right? Well, it's very, very weak. This I got from Trash Compactor Online, and this is from Pro Custom Figures. But Yeah, I am very much about all the figures I wanted as a kid and could not have because they did not exist. And obviously you can see that these are all in. Oh, okay. This one I haven't done a custom back for, and I haven't finished painting the head. But let me. How do I do? Every time I do this, I gotta go. How do I bring it up?
Solo.
There you go.
Whip stir. Yeah, and I've got the pot, and I've got all the utensils and everything. And cool. Obviously, I do have created in Photoshop the back for it, but I haven't yet.
So I got this from Doomcock for Christmas. Check it out.
So, oh my gosh! Wow. So is that 1/6 scale?
It's a giant Yeah, I think it is 1/6 scale. It's a giant Raiders Kenner figure.
That's awesome.
I don't know where the heck he got it, but I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
It's
now,
pretty
see,
cool.
I would be the type that would be tempted to not only open it, but then do a custom like G.I. Joe body.
It's got that clamshell thing on the back, so you can open it and just put it right back together.
There you go.
But, yeah, isn't that cool?
That is really awesome. Yeah, I knew about that. They've done some stuff like that for Star Wars too.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. I think I'm at the point where I really do need to. Sweetie, could you do me a favor and pull this out because I'm done with these and
okay, hold on.
I'm going to have a hard time getting.
Wait, stop pushing.
Figures. No, we're okay.
No, you're getting caught up in the cord over here.
No, I know where the cord is. It's not hung up.
Shush.
Okay, fine. So, this isn't quite complete because I haven't done the card for it yet, but I will do the same kind of blister pack so it can be opened and closed. Now we're going up to 9-inch scale, so this would be Mego scale. I haven't put the S symbol on, but that is my Christopher Reeve Superman.
Where did you get that?
I've been slowly building it over time. How'd
you get the Reeve head, man? That looks great.
The Reeve head I got from a dude on Etsy, and I painted it myself.
I thought that was eBay.
Yeah, well, okay, it might be eBay. A lot of these guys have eBay and Etsy stores both.
In fact, I can see if I can.
Yeah, you could probably
see if the
find
guy is still selling them, and I'll drop the link.
That is cool.
The cape comes from Figures Toy Company. Actually, I think the briefs and the bodysuit do as well, and the boots are from the current Mego Superman figure.
Yeah. Oh man, if they had a Hackman head for Lex Luthor, that would be incredible.
I have it. I haven't done it yet.
Way. That's so cool.
It's going to take me a little longer though because I got to do that checkered, and wide. Right. I got to do that. But now this one I did not do. Someone else did this one. Kirk Allen.
Oh wow.
All black and white with black boots.
Wow. Andy, do you have a Reeve 1/6 scale Superman?
I do not, but there are multiple. You can just go right on eBay and you can pick one up.
I'm probably going to be doing one pretty soon too.
Yeah. So much of the 1/6 scale stuff. What I like about it is that you can actually make the figures in varying scale. Like with most of the things that we had as a kid, like if you had the Mego collection, all the characters are the same height and the same size. I think they made a special body for Hulk, and I think they used the same basic body for the Thing, except for the hands. But with 6 scale, you could kit bash a lot of this stuff together. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
That's cool.
Problem is, I had glasses on them and they just broke. So I'm going to have to replace the glasses. They were very, very thin. But yeah, the body was simple because you can get from Figures Toy Company the Clark Kent figure, and this is the same seller. I just repainted. I just painted the head, and I also got the trench coat and gray fedora because he wears those in that scene. So
okay, the Christopher Reeve head and some other heads you've gotten are from World's Greatest Superheroes on eBay. I'm dropping a link to the Christopher Reeve head.
Yeah, go ahead.
To the chat.
Go ahead and do that.
Cool.
I love that site. They have a lot of great stuff. The problem is that they've got a bunch of stuff up that they're planning to make and have not gotten around to, including some custom figures that I'm willing to pay for, about $140 as gifts for certain people, but he hasn't made them yet, so I can't do that. It's just it's that bad. So you see, obviously, I want to do the whole Christopher Reeve thing. I've also got heads that I haven't painted yet. I am going to do the Christian Bale and Michael Keaton Batman.
Lana Cyrus said, "Put glasses on Clark, or everyone will know his secret."
Exactly.
Very clever.
Okay, this is the final Mego that I will show tonight. I'm only half done with it. I got to bring this up. Hold on. Gosh, you'd think it was my show the way I'm dominating it.
Right.
Sorry, I'll let you guys talk in a second. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The Lou Ferrigno Hulk.
Yep.
I do have the head to do for Bill Bixby, but I haven't painted it, and I still have to assemble all the. I mean, I've got it all in a cart online right now. I've got the backpack, and the jacket and the flannel shirt, the jeans, the whole bit. So yeah, and that's the other thing. This box I got from a vendor online. I mean, it's honestly, you wouldn't know this wasn't some sort of commercial toy that was purchased.
And if you're looking for the Superman head that I just dropped the link for, it's only $10.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I did drop the link in the chat. I don't have any way to pin that link.
Wow.
So, sweetie, you'd have to actually pin it to the top. I can also put it in a private chat for our guests.
Every Lex Luthor needs a Miss Teskmacher. Okay.
So for our guests, I put the link for the head in the private chat.
Okay, I'll bring that up in just a second. Right now, I need to. If we're gonna talk about this, I have to.
Jesse Gohardo wants to know if you're gonna get the Hulk 2-pack autographed.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna want to bother. I can't get Bill Bixby now, so I mean, you know what I mean. Give me a second. Pictures of me. Where are they? Okay. Gotta share this with you too. So I used to be a significantly heavier guy, and I was about 350 pounds, I think, when this picture was taken. Present, share screen. So I was in Metropolis, Illinois for the Superman celebration, and I dressed as Otis.
Mr. Luthor.
Exactly. But that was not the picture I was looking for, because speaking of
Otisburg.
I should have had a longer arm, Mr. Luthor. You want to see a long arm, Otis?
It was a little bitty place. Miss Teskmacher has her own place. Okay, I'll clean it off. Yeah, I was doing that all day. People would Otis, and I had my picture taken with every Lex Luthor that was there.
Otisburg.
So yeah, I then, like I said, I lost a bunch of weight, and let me bring this one up.
Yeah, the one where my belt slipped. So
yeah, the belt slipped, but it was still a pretty good picture. Let me share that. Present. Yeah, this is a class operation here. I'm all so professional here, going through the screens. So we met Sarah Douglas,
Superman.
and yep, had our picture taken with Supergirl and Lex Luthor's. Yeah, I'd lost a lot of weight. So, and she looked at me and she's like, "I don't know this costume." I said, "Okay, so Gene Hackman, but in the comics." She goes, "Got it." I understand now. Okay. But what I want to find is that the Lex Luthor and Miss Tessmacher that we did. That's probably the costumes I am most proud of. Let's see. That was.
And I'm looking to see if I've got them on my desktop.
Yeah, back imagery. Anyway, sorry guys, I've completely derailed my own show. I guess I do that pretty commonly. Sorry, but
it's all right. We're still here.
But so Gary, have you actually yourself? Have you done custom action figures?
Not really.
Are you even into action figures yourself?
I used to be, sure. And I mean, my shop is littered with all kinds of vintage toys. I like having them around they're very inspiring. When I'm working, I like to keep it light in here. Sometimes the work that I do here it can get a little stressful, and I like to decorate my shop with some of my own vintage toys. Yeah, not really. But there used to be this really cool hobby store that was not far away from me, and they had a big box of vintage figures. Old Star Trek figures. Was it Mego that made the little 1/18 scale or the 3 3/4 ones? I just went and bought them. They wanted like $2 for each figure, so I just bought the whole box. I spent like $400. I bought everything, and I just started putting it all over the shop. So. That's about. There's an appreciation for them in my heart. I'm not a collector or anything. I just like them up in the studio, just for fun.
No, I absolutely get that.
Yeah.
And Andy, you were talking about making action figures for your son. Does he still play with those? I mean, I don't even know how old your son is.
Oh, he's going to be 25, so he's.
That doesn't mean he can't play with them. Just saying.
He's got a bunch of things in his room that he's got. I have his action figure that I made for him. So I made older versions, like when I think my son was probably about like 5 or 6 years old, and I made his head and I put it on the Anakin Skywalker Hasbro body. And of course my daughter wanted one, so she wanted to be Jedi Iron, so I made her one, and I put it on a little it was like one of the little Barbie body. No, I'm sorry. It was on the Hermione Granger from Mattel body. And I made her a little outfit, and she was always like swinging around and stuff like that. I think she played with it more than he did. But then I made them older versions. And he has his in his room dressed in a Jedi outfit, flanked by Sideshow's Captain Rex and Captain Cody. So, yeah, I was looking at those two, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to sell these. And he's like, oh. Like what? Nah, they're just kind of cool. Like, well, do you want them? Sure. So he's got them in his room, and he's got some anime figures, and he's got some Halo figures, and a lot of Godzilla. He loves Godzilla, so he's pretty well outfitted.
Found it. Okay.
But I think that toys are your displays.
Personas plus the one in the purple outfit.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just wanted to show them. So again, you're gonna kind of see the weight loss journey here again, because I didn't mean to do that. I meant to share screen.
You just want to show off your pretty face.
No, there's nothing pretty about my face. Present, share screen, entire screen. Okay, so 300. I'd say this is probably closer to 375 at the time. Kingpin from the comic. I actually won a costume contest here that was put on by Marvel Comics. The artist that used to work on Daredevil used to draw Kingpin. He's like, that is spot on. And there was another kid there that was dressed as Kingpin. He said, no, this one is the real Kingpin. But then in Metropolis, after I lost some weight,
I like the wig.
Yes, you can tell it's a wig, right? And because I fully intended, it was interesting. You do all these poses with like different Superman and stuff, and I expected that at least one of them would do the whole, right? Not one of them did, and I'm like, you can, if you want to, And he's like, oh, I didn't want to. And I'm like, well, that was the whole reason I'm wearing the wig. So that someone could do it. I go, oh, okay, then I will.
That's great.
But as proud as I am of it, you can't see in this picture. Even if I were to blow it up for you, I don't think. What if I were to go? Can I go full screen with this? Full screen layout. What if I zoom in? You can see I literally drew in the hash marks on the suit in order to get that. I have made a kryptonite ring, even though that's comics and not movie. I just, whatever. I made the ascot because I couldn't find the right, material that looked right. And although this is Netter's suit, I made custom buttons and lapels for her, and you can tell that she is Miss Tessmacher. Mm-hmm. We'd be walking down the street, and people would be going, Miss Tessmacher! And she's just like, hey, sweetie.
It's like, what can I do for you, sweetie?
Yeah, exactly. It was genius. It was.
Can I help you?
Yeah. Great stuff. So I guess what I'm saying is, when we're talking action figures, it translates to 1-to-1 scale too.
Okay. If you want to show action figure, I just MeWe'd you our Mego Klingons. So we were talking about Mego action figures, and I told you that we've done the whole Klingon thing. And let's see if this tickles any fuzzy memories for you guys. Present, share screen. So we dressed as the Mego Klingons.
Oh, wow.
There
you go.
And I mean, right down to the vinyl. We even got the what do you call it? The phasers, and painted them red because that's how they came with Mego. Yep. Made the belt, and that's actually our phones. We put them in red covers so that they would look like the communicators, and it worked perfectly. And yeah, so I mean, just so you get the idea, the original. Yeah. So very, very proud of our customizing. We live in a great age for adult toy collectors. Mego has started putting out action figures again. I've got a lot of them above my head. You can't see them right now. But they started putting out the Klingons in the style of the actual original series, with the gray and black and whatnot, with the faces of Kang and Kor and Koloth. Much more realistic. And so I've gotten every single one of them. And what I don't have, I just customize, because that's just my sickness.
Well, that's the point, right? Like you want your shelf to represent the universe the way you want it to be, or not the way they can trash it. You can take the best of your memories and bring it to life, but you can also use your own imagination and where they went wrong. And like it would be things like that. Imagine if there was ever something great like a sequel to Highlander. That probably could have been something amazing, but they never did it. So the probably would have been crap.
No, I get you.
Zeiss.
I will defend Highlander 3, and what was the final one? Endgame. I will.
Wasn't that the one where it was the crossover with Duncan and
yes,
and Connor?
That one busts me up so bad because he forces spoiler for a 30-year-old series here, folks. So they start the series with Duncan MacLeod, the cousin of Connor MacLeod. They had crossovers within the series, but remember, there can be only one, right? And in Endgame, you find out that there's some real bad, nasty, evil not Highlander, but immortal, who no one can stop. And the only way that Duncan and Connor can stop him is if one takes the other's head, to have enough of the quickening to be able to fight him. And it's very clear that Connor is going to force Duncan to take his head, and he does. It was brilliant. So the final battle comes where Duncan is fighting against the baddie, And at one point, he looks up, his face is all in shadow, and he speaks with Connor's voice. And I just got chills. I mean, and that was something I wish they'd done throughout the series and never did. This idea that you could channel all of those people that live within you, you know? And then after he wins, and after he wins the prize, and he is the final one, he goes back to Scotland, and he puts a cross on, he buries Connor next to his wife, Heather.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I get emotional when I drink. It was beautiful, you know, and they close it with Bonnie Potmore, which of course I can't listen to without tearing, you know. So I'm going to defend that sequel up and down, you know. That's just me. As far as number 3 goes, that was the first time I ever saw them decide they were going to retcon a series because they knew they screwed up. Yeah, you know, Highlander 3 starts out with a close-up of Connor facing the camera. And I don't remember his exact words, but he says something like, "In the days after the death of my friend Ramirez." And then he goes into what he did and where he went and how he studied under the Japanese artist to learn how to make swords and stuff. And I'm like, he's basically looking at the audience, breaking the fourth wall and giving us a wink, wink, nod. The second movie didn't happen.
No, after the death of his friend Ramirez, he got rid of the ozone wall thing, and
jeez,
and he married with Virginia Madsen and
the president again, right? No, that is up there with Ghostbusters Afterlife and the redo of Sonic's 3D model.
From
of people
action,
people react, you know, the studios reacting to the fans and going, okay, we screwed up, we're gonna fix this, you know. So I'm gonna give credit for that. Sorry, Andy, I just had to jump in and give my little defense for that series.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I like about the 6 scale collecting is it's your universe. It's like it's the thing that you can like Gary was saying, you look around where you're going to be and you put these little mementos up of things that are important to you. And they can be whatever you want. Like I'm not a big DC guy. I was talking to my friend Fred the other night, and he's huge into DC, and I said, you know, I kind of envy you that you've got all of these options open to you where you could put together on your shelf a dream team of DC Comics representation. If it were me, I would have a Christopher Reeve Superman, a Ben Affleck Batman, that Titan series that came out. They did the costuming they did for Nightwing and Robin were excellent. And there's a company that actually made a third-party company that made copies of those in 6 scale. So you could have your Gal Gadot or Linda Carter Wonder Woman. You could have, you know, mix and match from all these different eras.
Like Todd McFarlane does, sure.
Yeah. You could have, there's a company that just made a John Wesley Shipp version of the Flash in 6 scale.
Nice.
But you could put all these things together and you could have your best representation. Like, you know, I mean, at some point, I'm sure that we're going to have AI do this. You're going to have the Christopher Reeve Superman on screen with somebody, even if it's just somebody doing it on their own computer. Yeah. And they'll have those representations.
Relax, Boomer. It's just speculation.
They did that in that Flash movie.
Yeah,
did they have Christopher Reeve show up?
That sucked. Yeah. With Helen Slater. Supergirl. Yes. That was the kind of thing that people wanted to see, you know. What I find you say that there's a lot of people that have strong feelings about it. Alex Ross, incredible comic artist, has done a print of let's see, it's Christopher Reeve Superman, Linda Carter Wonder Woman, John Wesley Shipp Flash, and I think it's Michael Keaton Batman together. And I'm like, that is the Justice League we all wanted back then. and never got. But you're right. We can now make the toys and create our own Justice League of that style. I've got Mego scale. Now I have a Mego scale Christopher Reeve. I've got if I want, I've also got, well, it was actually Figures Toy Company, same scale, did the Adam West and Burt Ward, Batman and Robin. It is a great time, and if it doesn't exist, you can make it exist. I was talking about the holiday special earlier. I have DVDs. Anyone wants a DVD of the holiday special because they're masochists? Let me know. I'll hook you up. I mean, but
when's there gonna be a 4K remaster of the? I'm kidding.
You joke, but we literally just got about 5 years ago. Somebody found a VTR copy of the holiday special at a TV studio in Ohio, WHIO. And it was the entire holiday special with all the commercials.
Yeah.
That just sat on a shelf and was not played since 76. He got a hold of it, digitized it, and put it out on the internet. I have a copy now on DVD.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's the best one out there.
It's the best. It's the best restoration of the original, and it's the best we're ever going to get. Let's face it. But I also have the Thank the Maker fan edit, which is actually, not only is it actually watchable, it's actually enjoyable. For example, you have all the Wookiees talking and doing their grunts and stuff. He puts up subtitles so you know what they're saying. And the best is when Mala calls looking for Chewbacca, and she calls the Rebel headquarters. She gets C-3PO, who calls Leia to the viewer, and she stumbles because she's high. And she turns and she growls something to her father-in-law, and the translation says, looks like she's already been dipping into the Life Day spirit. I'm like, somebody put some thought into this, They actually replaced, was it it wasn't Leslie Uggams. Who was it who sang the Mind Evaporator song? Oh crap! I can't remember. Anyway, the old guy sits down, he puts on the Mind Evaporator, and he sees the girl. And clearly Wookiee porn, right? The edit takes out the song element and puts in a clip from the actual Star Wars XXX parody Underworld of a Twi'lek and whatever that alien is that Ahsoka is, and they're like dancing in a club together, and it's pretty damn hot. Nothing like X-rated or anything, but and I'm like, you know what? Somebody really put some thought into this, editing stuff together like that.
But, all the things we didn't want to see in Star Wars.
Yep. We seem to be getting that a lot these days, don't we?
Yeah. Have you guys seen all the promos and the talk about this acolyte?
We live it every damn week.
No, for fuck's sake.
No, that show's not happening.
God.
Oh. Well.
Hey, Gary, how's the mic sounding now? Is it still too hot?
I think it's all right.
Okay.
You have to understand that Troy is naturally loud.
The more I drink, the louder I get. That's part of my problem. Yeah.
I have the same issue.
Volume on your side?
Pardon
Not
me?
the mic, but can you adjust your volume on your system?
I can. Do I need to bring it down a little bit?
Well, I'm used to it, but we don't want to, abuse the eardrums of our guests.
Gary, how do I sound to you?
It's fine, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. But yeah, it's the dangers of drinking. You know what? This is why the folks buy me drinks. I didn't even pin it to the top this time. Well, if you want to buy me a drink, the link is down below. And a lot of you, JPRPH1, I see you there. I owe you a song that will be coming up probably next week because I'm not really planning on having a guest next week. So I owe you a song. Thing about doing the songs, guys, you got to remember, I'm not a monetized channel, but if I was, that stream would not be monetized because somebody would put a claim in on it. So maybe that's
good.
Well, in the future, maybe that'll become part of the membership package or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, JPRPH1 and a couple of others, I owe you guys songs. So super appreciate all of you guys for supporting my drinking habit so Nanette doesn't have to. But
you just doxed me with my real name.
Yeah, I didn't realize when I started this whole YouTube thing that a lot of people, are going with pseudonyms. A.G. Boomer was late to the party, so he was smart enough to, to come up with a pseudonym for himself. But I wasn't smart like Doomcock and all the others. I put my real name out there, and well, everybody knows I'm Troy Pacelli living in the Chicagoland area. If they wanted to hunt me down, they could whatever. But
well,
as long as you nickname, though.
Well, yeah, but it wouldn't take long to figure out who Troy Pacelli's wife is. So
you'll be fine as long as you have some nice things to say about the Acolyte. I heard it's
okay. Are we going to talk about? We can talk about that. If
I
you
heard
want
it's
to talk
inspired by Frozen.
I thought we were saving that for Sunday, but we can talk about it. So
do whatever you want. It's your stream.
So apparently, Harvey Weinstein's, assistant, her wife, is in this show, and she has a lightsaber that goes all droopy, so she could use it like a whip. And people are, oh yeah, and that's exactly the reaction people are having online. And I saw somebody online who said, well, wait a minute. In Marvel Comics, there was a character who had a lightsaber whip. And I was like, oh, fuck no, because I'm a huge Marvel Comics fan. Speaking of which, I'm going to real quick bring up two more of my action figures. Give me a second. I'm going to make another tangent here, guys. So these are the expanded universe that I created. This is Rick Duel, which is a repaint of whoever that is from that Andor show. Andor. And Cheeto, which is, of course, a Greedo. Huh?
I thought he was orange.
No,
that's the flaming hot version.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry,
exactly.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah, no, these are characters from the Marvel Comics era, and what you could see behind him is him in Carbonite, because when I got the Razor Crest, they came with these characters in Carbonite. It was a little Easter egg thing that I thought was so cool, but I was like, fuck it. I'm making custom action figures of these Marvel characters. And there will be more of those Marvel Comics characters because there's a bloke online on Etsy who does resin figures that I'm going to get and repaint and make those. But yeah, someone pointed out that in the Marvel Comics, there was a female Sith named Lady Lumia, who had a laser whip and actually posted pictures of her. I said, well, if you look very closely at those pictures, those have, some kind of metallic cables that ran plasma along them. They were not a lightsaber that just went all fucking droopy. This is another example, just like the rise of Palpatine, that introduced, the Eclipse Super Star Destroyer and said, oh, this is, this has precedent in the comics because it was in Dark Empire. Yeah, but Dark Empire was actually a good story. You didn't actually create the good story. You just, pirated the the elements of it and filled it with bullshit. But I said, don't try to justify something because it existed in the EU. The EU that, as I recall, KK said didn't exist, that they didn't have that kind of stuff to draw on. I don't know if you guys remember saying.
That's what the opportunity is. There's a lot of people that love the EU, or at least people that maybe weren't the biggest EU fans to begin with, but after the sequel trilogy, just like the prequels, man, they really have aged better. And so when people want something like a character, an action figure from the expanded universe, that would be in demand. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that have big collections. When after The Force Awakens came out and the imaging of Luke Skywalker there, as before we found out what they were going to do to him, he really looked like that Jedi Master that we all wanted to see. And so I went and bought the head and put on a body and put a little stuffing in the belly and whatnot. But that sits on my shelf as Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, and it doesn't have anything to do with the sequel trilogy, because just like Highlander 2, it doesn't exist to me. And I'd like to take those characters and make them into figures so people can have them on their shelf, have a complete collection of things that representing stuff they like. You have a Prince Xizor, have Talon Card, have Mara Jade. And the great thing is, like what you guys are doing there on eBay, you can go on there and you can pull up, you can do fan casting.
Yep.
You can say, like, all right, what actress do I think would do a great job as Mara Jade? And say it's like, what's her name? That was Nebula in.
Oh gosh,
Karen
she
Gillan,
would be good.
Karen Gillan. So you can get a Karen Gillan head, and you could put that on a Mara Jade outfit, and there's your Luke and Mara Jade.
And you're talking in the 1/6 scale, right?
Yeah. Well, that's, to me,
it is the most supported scale for figures, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of variety. It's cheap, relatively cheap anyway. You can put together something. I mean, you're going to go and buy a Hot Toys figure. I just did this Doomcock show the other night. I was looking at this, and they have a whole bunch of new figures from the Ahsoka series, and they're all running about anywhere between $255 to $300. Now, I don't know how many people are going to go and spend that kind of money on a character that was in the show for a little bit, when you could turn around and you could kit bash something on eBay for probably about $125 to $150 and have your own version of something sitting on there. And my personal feeling is, if you have friends that come over and they want to criticize your collection, there's this thing called the door that you can show them and throw them the hell out, because your collection is your collection. And I don't need like the Hot Toys logo, and I don't need the insignia, and I don't need the price tag that comes with it. If it's a quality figure, it's a quality figure. But it gives people the freedom to do what you want, and instead of being latched to these things where you get the drivel, they feed you. Like, I know, I don't want that. We did this for years with comic books. If we didn't like a storyline, we could just pretend it never happened and just
exactly. And this is the thing that and Boomer and I have talked. Well, Netter's heard it to death, but Boomer and I have talked about this idea that when fans make their own toys, when fans make their own stories, their own fan edits or whatever, the entertainment companies get upset because it's like, oh, that's like bootlegging. You're stealing from the companies or whatever. And it's like, listen, folks, these are the fans telling you what they want. You want the money? Do what they're asking for. Do it not, and they'll do it for themselves.
Well,
just like in a marriage, if you won't put out for me, I'll do it myself.
There's another factor in there, though.
I figured we were far enough into the show, I could get a little bit blue.
when you put out, there's a bunch of
Hey,
third party.
Tom is saying he's not going to come in unless it's okay with both of you guys. Are you guys okay if Tom joins us? Because I sent him the link and he said, that's up to Andy and Gary.
Of course, it's fine with me. I'd love to say hi to Tom.
Not like it's my show or anything.
Right?
No, you're right.
But the thing about people will look at these third party companies because they're unlicensed figures, but they do a service for the officially licensed figures. You could put out a character that nobody's going to spend $250, $300 for.
Right.
But if you put it out for 120 or something, or 150, and somebody goes and buys that figure, that's going to inspire them. Well, now I want a whole collection. I'm going to go to Hot Toys and I am going to buy the things that they have, because now I have a full shelf of things. But it actually encourages. It's almost like an appetizer that you can put out there.
I have my dining room table is completely filled up right now with a diorama that I'm building from parts that I got from a bloke online. It is the entire Mos Eisley Cantina, and I've painted it. I've assembled it. I want to put lights into it and stuff like that. If Hasbro decides they want to do a HasLab and create their own, fucking too late. I've already made my own. And you're not going to make one as good as the one I've got now. Get on it, Hasbro. Quit fucking around with HasLabs for Reva's lightsaber that nobody fucking wanted. Or a 1/6 scale Rancor that nobody could afford or have room for. Pay attention when the fans tell you what they want.
Didn't they need you need larger figures to go with that, since it was so big too? Was that a thing?
Well, actually, that's a great point, Boomer. I don't remember a lot of people talking about that, but you're absolutely right, because this was the most fucking ridiculous thing. So this is the Black Series. They're 6-inch action figures, right? If it funded to a certain degree, your first tier was going to be, it was the most fucking ridiculous thing. A cardboard backdrop. And then the next stretch goal was going to be some fucking bones to put around his feet. And everyone speculated that they would add a third tier that would have been Malakili, the Rancor keeper. It's that should have been the fucking first thing. And people just decided, fuck it, I don't want this. I don't have room to display it. What the heck am I going to do? But you're right. You don't have a Malakili that's in scale with it. You don't have Jabba that's in scale with it. Okay, yeah, I guess you do have Luke that's in scale with it. But you need the variation. You need the V-chested gi that he wears in Jabba's palace, as opposed to what he wears later in Return of the Jedi.
You know what's funny, Andy, is a 1/6 scale Rancor is actually bigger than the Rancor himself. That puppet's only 18 inches tall.
You make an excellent point there, Gary. That's true.
Yeah.
That's fucking true.
I've never heard of that.
For fuck's sake. And there's so many things that the fans are saying, fuck, we want. For example, they've put out the Jabba sail barge. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm always going to be appreciative to you for getting me that. They put out the Razor Crest. They put out all kinds of other, Star Wars stuff. Everyone keeps saying, they're saying they want the Cantina. I don't give a shit about that anymore. It's too late for me for that. And they want the Lambda shuttle, the Emperor's shuttle, that they had released back during Return of the Jedi. This big oversized ship. And it's I don't think we're ever going to see that. Hasbro is laying people off. They're contracting. They're near bankruptcy. I've had not arguments or debates, but just strong discussions with people online. Tim Hayes knows who I'm talking about. Bosk's Bounty. We had a conversation online. I said, what really bugs me is they keep putting out this shit. They've already got figures pipelined for the Acolyte. I said, the Acolyte's going to fucking bomb. No one's going to buy the damn toys. They're going to end up in fucking Ollie's. You know, this is why Hasbro's going bankrupt. And Boss Bounty
I didn't
comes
know they
back.
were making toys for the Acolyte. Is that a thing?
Yep. Just
so they didn't make any toys for any of these other piece of shit shows, but now they're making toys for the Acolyte. Huh?
Bingo, my friend. Things that people actually would like. Look, when you have action figures for The Mandalorian, for Book of Boba Fett, for Obi-Wan, nobody cares about those shows, but there are action figures in there that would totally fit with your other, original series stuff. So people will buy those, and what's also really big, this isn't my generation, but I got a buddy who's in the chat here who's got kids that were in that generation, the prequel trilogy. So they're putting out, clone troopers left and right and, all this kind of stuff. Okay, great. There's a market for it. Put it out. Make your money. I don't begrudge you. But you put out all these Acolyte figures. No one's going to fucking buy them. You're going to go bankrupt. And Boss Bounty, and don't get me wrong. I am a huge fan. I follow Boss Bounty. I watch him every week. He's a good channel. And I agree with what he said. He said, I think the reason they're doing this is because Lucasfilm Limited forces them to. If you want to put out the vintage figures, you have to put out the new stuff too. And the margins are already so close for them on these toys. And they're taking a loss on the bullshit, on the Ahsoka figures, on the Book of Boba Fett figures, and especially they're going to get trounced on the Acolyte. Nobody gives a shit about those figures. And Age of Boomer and I have been reporting on Sundays about Hasbro laying people off.
Yep.
On the verge of bankruptcy. And it's like, this is at least part of the reason why. We've also talked about the Wizards of the Coast bullshit this past year, but so it's economics 101, people.
Yeah, I feel bad for Hasbro because they're into these contracts and they have to produce these, but they're not getting any material. This is the problem that Disney's going to have, is that they don't have anything in the pipeline that anybody's going to want to see. If you look at things like what Universal's doing in their parks with putting in the Nintendo World and all this, it's going to be that's going to be the attraction, especially for these younger kids that all they do is play video games. And that's part of the problem. Was like, Gary and I have talked about this before, about how cool the toys were when we were young. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing there that is really grabbing the kids' imagination, that they can go online and play these games where, like, I thought it would be really cool to have like little sets and things like that, where you could have like your little Mario world and things with figures that would go along in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think that there's anybody that's doing any kind of market research with the kids to find out what it is they would like. And that's a big problem, because you're going to have no market there. I mean, let's face it, you're selling to adult collectors at this point.
Yep.
And when we start dying off, that's going to be the end of it. It's going to be
that there's a lot of, Andy, you just struck on something that a lot of people, Michael French is especially talking about in the toy community, is for the longest time, they defended everything they did, saying, well, these are toys made for kids. These are toys made for kids. And everyone's going, bullshit. You're making stuff for adult collectors. And only very recently have they come out and said, yeah, okay, we're making toys for the adult market because they're the only ones buying toys. Kids aren't buying the toys. And it's like, and there's your problem. And that is the end of your business model. Because what you just said, Andy, is absolutely right. We're dying off. God, I hate saying that, but that's true. We're dying off. We're getting older. We're leaving the market, and the kids are not there to pick up the slack. And that's on the toy companies. That's on the entertainment companies. That we're losing a whole generation. Well, this is why Hollywood is dying. This is why the toy market is dying.
You know, I was talking to Gary about this. Like, when we were talking about film, because he's with his background in film and whatnot, talking about modeling and things like that, like, you know, making small miniatures and whatnot. With the equipment and technology that's available today, you could recreate what Lucasfilm did back when the original Star Wars, and you could make these things, like, you know, and with CGI. I mean, there's so much of this coming now. Like, well, the same thing's happening now, like what you're looking at with the customizing markets.
Yep.
You're going to have, in most people's hands now, or you're going to have a flooded market where people will have a buyer's market. You can go and buy these custom figures and set up their own displays and set up their own collections with completely custom figures. They don't need Hasbro's offerings anymore.
Yeah, we've literally gotten to a point where we can create stories for ourselves. We can create toys for ourselves. And these companies better start paying attention to us, or they're going to be completely put out of business. Real quick, I want to boost exactly what Orville Nation is saying. PJ, thank you so much. Great panel tonight, y'all. I know. I was so blessed. I pulled in Andy, and he pulled in Gary. I wouldn't have even thought to reach out to Gary, but Andy was my in with Gary. So, again, 2 weeks in a row, I'm so blessed with these huge channels that are kind enough to humble themselves to a little shit channel like mine. I super appreciate you guys for doing that. But David Pensag brings up, and this is a great question. We're kind of going in a different direction here, but it's good. What are some of your, you guys, what are your favorite childhood toys not from Star Wars? And I'm assuming he means Boomer and Maître.
I like the old Kenner Indiana Jones stuff. That was not very popular. They didn't.
I used to have those.
Yeah, they didn't sell very well, which was a shame. And then they stopped making them. And then
rough history there.
That made them really rare. I still have all of mine.
Do you follow Retroblasting?
Yeah, I do. Well, I don't think I subscribe, but I've checked out his stuff.
You should subscribe and specifically go and check out his Indiana Jones content, because he's done a lot of videos about those figures.
Okay, I'll check that guy out.
Yeah.
And Legos were always my thing. I guess that's not really figures. The Indiana Jones stuff. I used to have a lot of strange, obscure figures like Centurions, and remember the Supernaturals figures, the ones that had the cool holograph on them.
I do. I just saw a video about those recently too. My brother had a couple of those.
Yeah, those were cool. I had a lot of weird oddball stuff like that, and I had kind of a hodgepodge collection.
Did you have any of the real Ghostbusters toys?
Oh yeah, I had all those. I had the firehouse.
They're doing the same thing that Star Wars is doing. They're re-releasing all that old stuff and doing the new stuff in the style of that. I think as far as marketing goes, smart, absolutely. The Ghostbusters marketing team is doing a bang-up fucking job.
Yeah, they're doing great. They're picking up where Star Wars and Hasbro is just leaving off.
In fact...
Yeah. Are they Hasbro? Isn't Ghostbusters Hasbro? Is it Kenner Hasbro?
It is. Okay,
well then good. They're making some money back.
When they do HasLabs over there, they're fucking amazing. Netter and I both got proton packs from the HasLab for Hasbro, because we're just crazy geeks that way. But we have a whole room of our house that's dedicated to Ghostbusters right now.
Really?
It's got Slimer hanging from the ceiling.
Have you seen my Slimer?
I took over the guest bedroom. Yeah, is what she's saying.
Have you seen mine?
No, I haven't. Show me.
So this is This is one of the actual. This is a casting of one of the actual Slimers used in the first Ghostbusters.
Wow.
It was sculpted by Chris Wallace, who did the Gremlins and lots of stop motion animation. Pretty famous creature effects guy. But there's another guy that has this that has the rubber puppet that was used in the movie, and it's rotted now because it's 40 years old.
Right, it was foam rubber. Yeah,
but
exactly.
I got the porcelain one. So I made a mold of it, and I made this.
There's no. Turn around. We got to see that. We got to see that.
He
booty.
always had an ass.
That booty.
He always had an ass. It turns out.
I am going to. Boomer, remind me when I sober up.
Booty.
Yeah, let me
Okay.
remind me to tag Ghostbusters News. He's gonna want to see. Thank you, Netter. Yeah.
And Andy, I never did get any arms with this, but Andy sculpted me a set, so I have to put them on. But this is one of my most expensive and favorite pieces that I have.
Do you mind it my asking when you say expensive? What do you consider expensive in that regard?
It was 5 figures.
Oh fuck, man! No, totally worth it in my opinion. I think.
Yeah, I couldn't let it go. That's the problem. The hard thing is when you come across something that's irreplaceable, you can't let it go. Like I came across the blueprints for One-Eyed Willie's ship, and I had to get them, and it was really expensive, but I wasn't gonna let it go. But I run into other things too. Like I got this for a song. This is the very last piece that survived the set from Young Frankenstein, not including the Frankenstein equipment.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
But I got this for nothing, and I got it from the guy who struck the set back in '74. Was it?
So
when the movie was made?
What I wanted to share is about that Slimer. Can you bring that Slimer forward again? There's something I want to say about it.
Yeah, sure.
So the Regal Theaters did a popcorn bucket of Slimer.
Yeah.
You know all about that.
I was kind of pissed because
like
I just went to the movie. I just went to see it, and I'm like, oh, I hope they have a cool popcorn bucket, and it looks just like my Slimer. I'm like, well, that's lame. So I got 2 of them. I got one for Tom Connors, and then Andy texted me a picture. They had the trap. They had one of the marshmallow, little marshmallow guys.
Sure.
So he bought me a couple of them, and I'm
maybe it wasn't Regal. Maybe it was AMC. I don't remember which movie company it was.
that has the Slimer. Cinemark has the Slimer. Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the companies, I bought one from one of the companies, and when it arrived, I was like, okay, it was cheap. It looks good enough, and I hung it up in my Ghostbusters room. Come to find out, I had forgotten what it looked like online. It looked like what you just showed us. And what we actually got was like something you'd get from fucking Wish.com. And I guess a lot of fans are all pissed off about it. And I'm like,
yeah,
well... And they took it down because people were so upset.
I've got one more piece from Ghostbusters. Why don't you go ahead and go back to the rest of the panel? I'm going to go get it. I'll bring it right back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. Tom doesn't want to join us because I slighted him last week, and I think he's pissed at me. But
I get Tom next week, so
you get Tom next week, and
that's Netter. That's not Troy.
Well, let's face it, she's fucking better looking than I am, so I don't blame him for that. Let's just call a spade here, right?
Oh, and don't forget you want to transfer over to Rumble a little bit too, right? So.
Yeah, 15 minutes. Yeah, thank you for keeping me on track here. Yep. There's actually like 2 versions of the Slimer. One looks cheaper, the other one. Yeah, I got the cheaper one. It looks like shit, but it was cheap, so I'm not
that big, sweetie.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Keep bear with me because I'm
There we go.
Oh, that's Gozer.
Gary, you're muted.
This was pulled right out of the production mold for the miniature Gozer temple doors.
How many did they do of that?
Well, there were at least 3 in the movie because it was surrounded by the temple had 4 sides. But this thing is pretty massive. The model must have been really big.
What is it made of? Is it really heavy?
I casted it out of resin, but it was directly out of the production mold.
Woof.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's really, really cool. It's one of my favorite, my favorite pieces. Yeah. So you guys have
Tom, no obligation. I'm just messing with you. But if you can, I'd love to have you. I'm gonna go over the 2-hour mark. So if you want to join in the last third of the show, you can too. Whatever. I super appreciate you. But Gary, you invited him too.
yeah. Come on, Tom.
You know, he's getting out. We're all sending him links because he's so much in demand. I am just drunk enough to get super obsequious and just say, Gary and Andy, you guys.
I love that word.
Obsequious.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I use it all the time.
I super appreciate you, and to have both of you on my stream at the same time. Look back at my last stream. I had a couple of really big streamers on, and you guys are. I'm gonna say what I said to them. You guys are super kind for being willing to come on my little podunk show.
No, man, this is what we do. We come on people's shows that are cool and that we like.
Yes.
You know.
You all heard it. Gary Ambrosia said I'm cool. So I'm cool. Regardless of what you fuckers say. Gary Ambrosia.
What the hell do I know? Don't take my word for it.
Well, I'm at least as cool as you are. If you say I'm cool.
Yeah, I got a couple. I know you guys are Star Trek squids. I've got a couple of really nice Star Trek pieces. I can't show them on the camera because I'm going to be doing a video about them. I want it to be a surprise, but
so make sure everybody
very
is subscribed to Gary Ambrosia. If one of y'all Blue Wrenches could drop Gary's a link, I'd appreciate it.
Disney Sheepherder was kind enough to do that, so thanks.
Yeah, if you could do it again, I'd appreciate it. Or if you could scroll up and
subscribe to Andy too if you're not subscribed.
Andy is in the description below. Make sure you're subscribed to Andy.
Yeah, Andy and I are thinking about doing some maybe live sculpting and working on things like that. Andy and I talk for 4 hours a night anyway, so we figure we might as well just turn on the cameras, open up a stream, and just.
I didn't mention this last time Andy was on. I probably should have done. All y'all that are into the ASMR bullshit and the what is that painter guy that Bob Ross, right? Yeah. Check out some of Andy's streams. He's got some where he's not carving. It's not carving. It's sculpting these 1/6 scale heads. Basically, what he's doing is he's giving a little head, and another blue joke. It's just so cool and so relaxing. And look, if you have to because you're fucking short attention span theater, watch it in double time or something and see him go through it quicker. Because you see this fucking lump of clay turn into, oh my gosh, that's that actor that I really like. It's fucking amazing shit.
When you see things transform.
I'm not even gonna blow that up. It's Dylan Mulvaney, guys.
The irony, Andy, you did such a good job on that figure and nobody wants to look at it, including myself, including me. He sent me the first one. I remember pulling it out of the box and I'm like, he's like, what do you think? What do you think? I'm like, I think it's repulsive. He's like, what, did I screw something up? I said, no, I think it's great. You did a fantastic job.
I just, Dylan Mulvaney's fucking repulsive.
Yeah, I caught a glimpse up his dress and I was like, I'm going to put this figure on the shelf.
Dude, Tom, I don't judge you. I idolize you, for fuck's sake. You're awesome people. If anyone's giving you shit in my chat, let me know. I'll take care of it. No, Netter will take care of him because she's the bouncer.
Yep.
But that Dylan Mulvaney figure, I think every YouTuber needs one of those. Not because they want it, but because there's so much mileage you can get out of that little fucker. Just Jesus, man. I am far enough into this stream. I can swear, right? They only care about the first 15 minutes, right? So fuck them. Fuck it. I'm not even monetized. Who gives a shit?
I thought this was a family show.
Well, it is a family show, but an adult film.
There you go.
Oh, geez, man. Fucking.
Where's the armband?
AIDS murderer, fucker. Look, you know, for all the for all the LGBT whatever out there that's grandstanding these days, if they're old enough to remember the 80s, they remember what Fauci did during the AIDS epidemic. Fuck that fucker.
Hey,
Just
Troy, have you seen Andy's Coke Hunter?
Coke, C-O-K-E, Coke Hunter?
Yeah, Coke Hunter.
No, let me blow. Oh, that's
Andy made me this.
Biden. Yeah, no, yeah. I can tell from the. Well,
comes with a laptop.
Let me blow that up. Give me a second here.
And some paraphernalia.
But you know what really sucks about that? It really does look like him. It also kind of looks like Trump Jr.
No,
I mean, that's what's sad.
So.
I didn't realize those two actually kind of resemble each other a little bit.
Look at that.
Oh, jeez, man.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Right? Am I right? I'm not wrong on that.
Andy, I never noticed the skid mark.
Wait, let me go solo again. Let me see that figure again.
Look, you got the tattoo on the back. Look at that. Isn't that great?
Is that a skid mark on his ass?
Apparently, yep. I didn't notice it before, but Andy's very his attention to detail is hysterical. Yeah,
that's fucking hysterical.
It's pretty incredible,
dude. Is that that's not a G.I. Joe body, is it?
No, that's a clone of a Hot Toys body. See, there's this thing that happens when you deal with China. You'll send them something, and they'll make it. They'll fill your order. But then if there's another way for them to make more money off it, that factory will print out a couple million copies of it.
Enjoy Coke. Oh, fuck, I love... You even do the custom boxes, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
You're a rock star, man.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, so they... there's so much potential in there, because that body there has 32 points of articulation. Now, when I made the cursed figure, that was the problem. Was trying to find something.
Let me put you on solo again, because I want to see. Yeah, I figured that was a Bud Light box in the upper corner.
Yeah, it's an actual 12-pack with cans inside of it.
That is fucking scary, dude. Yeah. Does it have a dick? I gotta ask, does it have a dick?
It's got the little camel face right there. See it? Right next to his face.
Of course.
You can take it off and put it back on.
Yeah.
So
fuck. No, I made the mistake of I was looking at 12-inch action figures and on Etsy, and I was kind of clicking through them, and I ended up on one that does all these, how shall I put it, anatomically correct 6-inch action figures. And then all of a sudden this shit was showing up in my feed, and I'm like, dude, I don't want these X-rated toys. I didn't mean to click on that fucker.
Yeah, there's that happens in the 6 scale stuff too. I put a link in the private chat. There was somebody, Balder 85 on Twitter. Chrissy Mayer had put a tweet that where can I get a Hunter Biden action figure? So this Balder 85 comes along and he says, this guy can make one for you. So I said, yeah, it'd probably take me a few weeks, but I can throw something together.
Christy Mayer is a national treasure. Let me say that.
So I made this thing and I said, okay, I just need she was on the show. I need an address for that item you requested.
Oops.
And she was like, an item that I requested, like, the Hunter Biden action figure. So I sent it to her, and I sent it to Compound Media. Then they couldn't find the box, and I'm like, oh, geez. And then they found it. And
yeah.
She did this little tweet, and it just blew up all over the place. And and this was her. I'd send you that link there. That's her reaction when she was unboxing it. And it was pretty funny. Then I'm at work in my studio, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from some guy. He's like, where do I get one of these Hunter Biden action figures? And buddy, you realize this is all custom made. I mean, you're talking like $150 for this thing. He said, good, I need 5 of them. I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah, no, if you're willing to pay for them.
So I think when it was all said and done, I think I did 25 to 30 of them total.
No, absolutely. Oh gosh, man.
Solid figure, man. He's got some more cool ones coming up too. Very racy ones, very edgy. So I can't wait to complete my collection here.
Well, you say racy, and it makes
Edgy,
me wonder because
yeah.
I've seen some of the stuff that's online. Like I said on Etsy, and I'm like, there's some serious reality you can do with some of these figures. I'm not sure I want to see. Just but
well, Andy is a very gifted what's the word, satirist,
satirist,
satirist, is that it? I'm sorry, I'm trying to church it up a little bit.
Sadist.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I'm putting the accent on the right syllable.
But he's very clever, and his figures are nice and edgy, very funny, and they make quite a bold statement too. I'm very proud to have them.
He's very skilled. He does great work, and
he's ugly as shit though.
He doesn't. No, well,
I mean, he's hideous. Really, he is.
Well, I resemble that remark, so I'm not going to say too much about that. But the reality is, he does these things, and he doesn't give a shit. He's like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it. You like it, great. If you don't, fuck you. And I got to say, I respect the fuck out of that, Andy.
Yeah, oh yeah. He definitely doesn't give a damn what anybody thinks. That's for sure.
So, real quick, I want to let everybody know in about 3 minutes, I'm going to be shutting down YouTube. Because YouTube is a 2-hour show from here on out. And anyone who wants to stay with me, come on over to Rumble. Obviously, no one in the panel needs to do shit. We're just going to continue. But those of you that are in the chat.
Did you drop your Rumble link?
I just did. And go over to Rumble. Please follow me on Rumble. Because, again, if YouTube ever gets sick of me and yeets me, that's where I will be every week for my live streams. Fridays for Last Call and Mondays for Monday night at the movies. I don't want to lose you guys. Stay with me, family. And in fact, Tom Connors of Midnight's Edge After Dark, and Mead Radio has just joined us, and he is going to be following us over Rumble because he's going to be in the last third of the show with me, because he's a god of YouTube, is what he is. Gary, Andy, am I right? Are
you a god, Tom?
Are you a god? He's muted.
No.
If someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
I like Rumble because over there I can say the word.
I gotta get me one of those so I can do that too. I just fuck, shit, crap. Hell damn fart.
Tom, were you quoting Melanie Mack?
Yeah.
Melanie Mack is also
in fact, that was her credit. Give her full credit on that one, yeah.
And she's cute too. I hate to admit that. I feel like a dirty old man saying it.
I made her own action figure.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Andy made a Melanie Mack figure too.
Is it anatomically? No, don't answer that. I don't want to know. I don't fucking want to know.
She's got all the tattoos. So, there
you go.
I think she's added to the other arm since then. So,
tattoos are an important addition. Just like back when we did the Steve Austin figures, we had to have all the right, bionics on them. Yeah, you got to put tattoos on the.
Well, yeah, that's like the Mexican Iron Man figure has all the scars from all the times he's fallen out of windows.
You're going to have to do some kind of like Mexican Iron Man armor for him now too.
Oh, he's already got that. Mike was the first one to commission me to do a piece.
Mike is the hugest supporter of the entire community,
Yeah, he contacted me. He said, I'd like you to repaint a Hot Toys Iron Man figure. And I'm like, dude, those are like $300 a piece. Like, you can get the knockoff version for $95. He said, you're right. That's a much better idea. We need 3 of them. So I said, okay. So we ordered, and they took forever to get in. And so while he was waiting, I made him a Darth Pappy with his Sith speeder. But on the back of it is a taco stand with a little droid that cooks tacos. And then I got the figures in. So he's got one for himself, one for Doomcock, and he sent one to Robert Meyer Burnett. And Mark
Robert Meyer Brunette is also a national treasure. He's one of those ones keeping Star Trek alive. Let me tell you.
Mark S47 made the little sound chips that has all of Mike's quotes in there, like "Oh no," and he would like,
no, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he would have all those little things. You could hit the button, and all these 5 little buttons would put out a different. Mikey
Let me tell you, Netter is a huge Mikey fan, and I'm like, Mikey, you stay the fuck away from Netter. just saying, you bastard.
Sweetie,
that's nice. I didn't know Mike had fans. We'll have to let him know.
I know, sweetie. I know. I'm just saying.
Besides, I've heard he's a major slut, so I wouldn't want any of that.
I don't know if it's true or not, but yeah, let's kind of avoid that, guys. Real quick, I just want to say I'm going to shut down the YouTube. We're all going over to Rumble. Please stay with me if you are willing and able. I'm dropping that link one more time. Come with us and then follow me over there so that we never lose each other. Okay. Bye-bye on the YouTube. Let me make sure that I'm doing this right. And